What's up, guys? I'm back, and no, the Passat is not done yet, but one of my friends needs some help on their vehicle, so here is the new vehicle that we're going to be working on. What you see before you is a 2000 Chevy, wait a minute, 2000 Chevy Metro. Yeah, I never heard of it before either, but apparently that's exactly what happened. We're going to be doing a clutch on this car. I'm going to show you as best as I can what you're going to need. If I show you under the hood here really quickly, where's the hood latch at?
I can do.
Look at how dirty that motor is. But somewhere in there is the transmission, and this is what we're going to be working on. So, is it going?
Yep.
Just for shits and giggles, guys, I'm going to see if I can deadlift the back of this car, because I think I can. The other way. No, it's weird. That's what it is.
No good handhold.
Yeah. I think I could, but this thing is giving away. So
Right.
I guess we're not going to do it this time. The first thing that we're going to do is we're going to disconnect the battery. You don't want to have any power going in the starter when we take it off. So go ahead and disconnect it with a 10mm socket, or at least this one is what it has. We got that disconnected. I believe the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to break the lug nuts loose on the front wheels, and then we're going to raise the whole thing on jack stands. So I will be back after that is done. Gotta break loose the lug bolts. It is a 19mm. Oh, these things are. There's that side. Easy breezy. Or that one's down there a little bit stronger. I think my torque wrench is toast. Torque wrenches aren't supposed to do that, by the way. The next thing that we got to do is we got 1, 2, 3, and 4 14mm. I don't know if I'll be able to do it with this or not. I might have to. Make sure. Tighten, loosen. Yeah, I'm gonna have to. This freaking thing is in there. There we go. Well, that's one.
One down.
Hey. Look, almost looked like it broke off. Hopefully not.
Seriously. We'll find out on the next one.
That's very weird. I'll tell you, that is very weird. And just give it a little bit of. That one came out pretty easy. Nope. That's just
Thank God.
that's just how it goes. Right? So these calipers should come right off. Wow, there is your caliper. Now I'm just gonna push it back here for right now. We'll probably want to hang it up in a little bit here. Let's see, here's your brake pads. The brake pads don't look too bad, but they just look really freaking grimy. They look real grimy, these things.
Okay.
Alright guys, so we disconnected. It was a 12 millimeter nut that attaches the other assembly, the fucking, I forgot the fucking name of this stupid thing. And then there's a 14 millimeter bolt right here, and that'll get your lower control arm, and then just get some sort of fucking brace in here, and it'll drop. It will drop. She's ready. Why it's not dropping? Bow. And the joint is out, which means the control arm will pull right out of, the axle literally pull right out of the motor. Good to go. Alright, the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to, it's a 12 millimeter. We're just going to loosen the bolt. You want to have another 12 on the other side because I just dropped it. It's 12s, so you want to have one to hold it, one to loosen. And then also, we're going to take off these two 10 millimeters right here that have this whole wire harness in the way, because there's two bolts holding the starter. And I believe they're going to be 12s too. This car seems to be pretty easy to work on and pretty easy to judge. So I will be back after that is done.
Yes.
All right, now that we got those, we got 10s taken off. We got a 12, so we just lifted the fork off. Now we got a little cheap Harbor Freight extension with a little 12 millimeter, and I got a 6 and probably a, I don't know, 2-inch long extension. And then you can just snake it right on through, and you got two 12 millimeter bolts. Make sure you have it turned on the right way too to break it loose. Let's see. Let's go down and get some more. There we go. They break loose pretty easy. And I'll be back after this is done.
I'm going to sneak in because you can't really see where the hell that's going.
It's hard for me to even see it.
Okay. It's the general idea.
Right? This thing is a little pain in the ass. It's coming out though.
Excellent.
I'm back. There is a 14 millimeter nut holding the starter on that you have to get to from the bottom. And once you get that nut off, one thing I almost forgot, before you pull the axles out of the transmission, you want to get a 3/8 inch extension, stick it right up here in the drain plug, and you want to damn, that thing is in there good. You want to break the drain plug loose, and I'll be back after that's done. I might have to do some leverage. Go give me a big ass.
Alright, you're recording.
Alright, well, I'm back, and somebody tightened that drain plug too much, and it's just about stripped out. So I guess I'm just going to get all kinds of transmission fluid all over the ground and all over myself when I pull the axles out. But I did manage to break loose both of the exhaust bolts, which are 14 millimeters. And once we drop the exhaust, we'll have a little bit more room. And then it's time to start working on the motor mounts. Alright, the next thing that we got is a 12 millimeter right here on the linkage, and then over here we got a 14 millimeter nut that I took off, and then the linkage just slides off. So we want to do that first, and then we'll move on to the next step. Alright, so it was only 3 bolts for the transmission. But now I'm back under here. As you can see, my motor mount, I decided to take out the 2 bolts for the motor mount. I got the jack underneath the oil pan holding the motor. I got the tranny jack here. Still trying to figure out how to disconnect the drive axles. They don't seem to want to pop out. Not sure exactly what I'm going to do with that yet, but let me get this piece off, and then we'll go from there. Alright, so the next thing we have, I believe my theory is going to work, but we got see those 2 14 millimeter nuts? Instead of pulling the motor mount off of the transmission, I'm just going to pull those nuts, and then when I unbolt the transmission, I should be able to align that motor mount right back in with those, and then get it bolted back up a lot easier, or at least that's what I'm thinking. So we're going to try that, but pretty soon we're going to have to get some something to support the weight of this transmission before we break it loose. Alright, the next thing that you're going to have to do is you're going to get a 14 millimeter bolt on the bottom. You got 2 10 millimeters that take away this little viewing window for the flywheel. And I believe we got 2 of these at top. And that should be just about everything to pull the transmission. I'm not sure yet, but I'll get back with you guys.